All right, everyone. So I wanted to share with you a video that was from 2 days ago, canonically, with the video that we're looking at here. So this is from 7/22. There was a video that I wanted to post that was from the 20th, which that day I had gone home from work at 8 p.m. thereabouts. 8:45. Actually, it was pretty late. It was almost 9 o'clock, I think. 8:30, 8:45. Now, it was getting pretty dark because it's July and it is no longer the longest day of the year. It was 1 month past the longest day of the year. So it was getting pretty dark. And what I have learned is that this camera relies on electronic image stabilization, which is different than optical image stabilization, which I guess is probably more expensive to implement. This is a cheap camera. And for what my purposes are, it is good enough most of the time. But it does bum me out because what I learned is that the EIS does not hold up well in low light situations. So it's going to be really hard for me to share any videos that are in low light. It's been a long time since I've gone to bike party, which is something that I did want to try and include in a future video. Um, but I have a small child at home, and it's been really difficult for me to be able to do stuff like that because we have other responsibilities. And I don't want to saddle my partner with all of the work involved with childcare in times when it's sort of discretionary like that. So I haven't done bike party in a while, and I don't know the next time that I'm going to have the opportunity to, but it turns out that I wouldn't be able to share the video anyway because it was horrible. I tried to do the recording, and about 5, 6 minutes in, just had to call it because it was just really, really low quality. I thought it would be a lot of fun to show the nighttime video and what it would look like having kind of like the street lights on, and there was less traffic, which is really cool. So it's a lot easier for me to kind of just roll through some intersections that during rush hour, which this is, it's about 4:30 p.m. It's a little early for, it's the early part of rush hour, so it's not like crazy. I know that it gets worse, but also, and I'm sure we'll see this in a future video, BTS is in town for the date that I am recording this. So we'll have to see what the situation is. Hopefully it's not going to be pouring down rain uh, when I record the videos related to that, but because I won't be recording it if it's pouring down rain, and I won't be able to. But I know that there's going to be really heavy traffic even at 4:30 p.m. or 4 o'clock. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock. Anyway, so it's like I said, it's the early end of rush hour, but at 8 p.m., much fewer cars and pedestrians for that matter. Just like it's nighttime. People are getting ready to go to bed. But yeah, the video quality was really bad, and couldn't do it. So, this video is one amongst many, many videos that I had in my back pocket. So I've been working through, obviously I haven't been doing them very frequently, Uh, but trying to get better about that. All of you lovely people, just still going. Yeah, that guy. I'm attached to him. I can't not. Yeah, this guy, just, or woman, who knows, driving in the bike lane because you're a genius. Um, anyway, as you may have noticed with the previous video, I'm gonna start trying to make the titles more related to the actual content of the video, rather than having the title be just Baltimore bike commute and the date. I want to try to focus more on topics that I can talk about during the video that are related to the content of the video. So the one last time was about parking in bike lanes, which is a huge pet peeve of mine. Um, this one, though, is going to be about another issue that we have, which is sort of related. And related to a comment that I got, my first comment ever on uh, that video. So, as we get our way down Pratt Street, we will get to the area that's been under construction in front of the Phillips restaurant and Hard Rock Cafe, etc. The actual power plant that goes to the power plant. Got this guy who's awesome. And thinks that he can just do whatever he wants. Man. Anyway, once we get over there, I will elaborate further, but there's been construction going on out in front of that space for about a month, maybe longer. It's probably been longer. It's felt like longer. And the section of the Jones Falls Trail, which we are currently on, in front of that area is closed off, and the sidewalk. The entire pedestrian and bike infrastructure on that section of Pratt Street was closed for however amount of time, 1 month, 2 months, whatever it was. And what the city did, or somebody did, to compensate for that was that they closed off, not well, the bus lane in front of that space to be the temporary pedestrian and bike infrastructure. Well, you see here today that all of the construction vehicles are parked there instead. Well, I don't know the circumstances of what my viewer uh, encountered on the day that they were in a crash at that location. From what I understand, their bike was damaged so severely that they couldn't ride away, and luckily, I guess they were well enough to be able to comment on the video. So I'm glad that they are okay. I don't know any more information, unfortunately. If that person is able to reach out to me, I'd be happy to talk to them about it and learn more. But the fact of the matter is that the city made that space available because this construction was taking place that blocked the regular pedestrian and bike infrastructure. And these construction workers just decided that that space was also for them. And trust me when I tell you, very often I would just see one of those trucks sitting there with the construction worker sitting in the driver's seat. I don't even know if there's anything in the truck. Maybe some tools. Well, at least one in the driver's seat. But these this is not why this lane was made available. It was not made so that you could put more fucking construction vehicles there. It was so that people who are walking on the sidewalk are able to continue to walk on the sidewalk. Well, you saw today what I did was I rode around the outside onto Pratt Street where the construction vehicles were blocking the way. Other days, and I'm going to have to find another video where this was the case, they I didn't want to do that. It didn't feel safe, and so I would ride around across the pedestrian bridge and then over toward back around to Phillips, and then on the little bit of sidewalk that was left on the other side. But I always felt like I was invading on pedestrian space because, quite frankly, I think that I was. But I didn't have any other option. There is no other way. And so today I was able to just ride on the street. But I'm not going to do that when there is a whole horde of vehicles coming at me. I'm going to ride where it's the safest for me. And I don't know what happened, like I said, with my viewer here, but that person could have been seriously injured and or worse because of this behavior. That is, it's just unacceptable. And it is very car brain, and we need to we just can't allow it. When something like this is set up as a temporary measure, the city needs to be telling these construction workers that they can't just put their vehicles there. That's not what that space is for. It was not set aside for them to have more space to put their stupid trucks. They can put their trucks somewhere. There's a parking garage literally right there. There are multiple parking garages right there. So they can put them there, and if the city wants to give them to them for free, then by all means, have at it. But why are we giving all of this space to these commercial vehicles that are now putting people in danger? And in at least one case, threatened a life. So, I think that's all that I had to say about that. It's something that I've been thinking about over the course of this entire time, and I guess I should have said something sooner. But it is true that it's unacceptable that the city allowed that to happen. And this is why I'm always harping about cars being parked in places where they don't belong. Because people can get hurt. People can get seriously hurt. Well, now now that we're 15 minutes into the video. Um, Thank you so much for making it this far. If you are new to the channel, thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you would like the video on YouTube, and if you really want to help the channel, you could subscribe to the channel, and even better, if you make a comment in the video and tell me about any experiences that you have had um, with cars parking in places where they don't belong. In Baltimore City or otherwise. Um, it does, yeah, it really bothers me. It's one of those things that I just don't understand why people think that they have the right to do whatever they want. Regardless of like other people's safety. So, future video, we'll probably be talking about people who block intersections with their cars. I'm definitely going to have videos about that. The city has still not fixed it is Commerce Street. No, it's not. Is Charles? I already forget. I did put in a 311 ticket for it. Charles and Pratt, I believe, is correct. Oh yeah, this guy had the little his dog sitting on the front of the bike, and I said, hey man, is it alright if I pass? We don't want to like disturb your dog. Love that. See, this is one of those things, you know, I can be steamed about something, and then I encounter this guy with his dog sitting on the front of his bike, and now I have a great big smile on my face. It's just one of those things that you do not get to experience if you're riding in a car. Now, I will say I have a colleague that just came down from Philly, and he's told me that in his experience thus far, there are much fewer people riding their bikes in Baltimore than in Philly. Now, what I will say is that I'm sure that's true, first of all. Um, the entire network of cycling and transit infrastructure in Philly is just better than it is here in Baltimore. But I kind of want to go back and look that again. I did not notice that in real life. There was a shopping cart. There is a shopping cart that lives in that person's backyard, which, sure, okay, you definitely stole that from the Safeway. Fine, I guess. And it was piled high with chairs in the shopping cart. Anyway, what I will say is that the amount of bikes that I see on a day-to-day basis has increased a lot this year. We can get into that more in a future video, but yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna call it good for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.